So after every impression during the applause break, I stare into that pocket of the room to let them know, I don't give a shit about this. This is fucking stupid. A TV show where you do little sketches? Really? And then I go into my next thing, and I'm doing Joe Pesci. And it was Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci from Raging Bull, but as Batman and Robin. When do you stop eating, you fat bat fuck? You're like a fucking nut. Your fucking belly's hanging over the bat belt. You broke the fucking bat ball. What the fuck? Fucking Batwoman don't want to fuck you no more. Do a little less eating, a little more fucking crime fighting. You want to be such a fucking mess, you fat bat fuck. And then again, I look over into that corner of the room and I stare them down like, scoreboard, motherfucker, like hang your hat on that shit. I put your name on it. I found out after my set that Lorne and everybody was sitting in the back left-hand side of the room. So I spent the most important 12 minutes of my life up until those 22 years staring at a fucking real estate banker from fucking Forest Hills. This guy must have thought, wow, Jay Mohr really likes me as an audience member. I hit the sidewalk. At this point, I have 6 more beers in me. Now I'm officially drunk. Marcy Klein goes, Jay! And I turn around and she goes, Lorne really liked you. There's a white limousine out front. And you don't really see white limousines unless you're on like ghettoprom.com. There's a white limo out. Who takes a fucking limo to a comedy club? Lorne Michaels. That's who. To take him the 6 blocks to his apartment. Lorne Michaels comes out, and she goes, you have to stick around and talk to Lorne. And what would be a harbinger of things to come and foreshadowing of my 2 years on Saturday Night Live, I waited on that sidewalk for a very long time. But don't fucking leave. Lorne's coming out, and you have to talk to him. So I just stood there, and I waited. About 1 o'clock in the morning.
And you're drunk.
Lorne comes, yeah, so time is longer. Time goes by so slowly. 9.5, Al Green. Take a shot, people. 9 black people we did today. We should be proud of that. So, Lorne like fucking Chuck Yeager, we're breaking barriers, people. Lorne comes out. I go up to him and I say, hey, how you doing? And he goes, you were really funny. It was really, really funny. It was good stuff. Really good stuff. Very original. Very relaxed. And when he said the word relaxed, I went, fuck yeah. I knew that they would like that I didn't give a shit. He gets in his limo and he leaves. And I just watched my future leave in a white ghetto prom limo. The next day, we're wrapping this up, and in podcast number 2, we're going to talk about SNL. We're going to talk about when I blew a kid when I was 8 years old. We're going to talk about getting Jerry Maguire. So this will be good stuff. You're definitely going to come on again and subscribe to this, because I don't know if you guys know how it works. You probably do, because you listen to more podcasts than I do. The amount of subscribers you have is a direct correlation to the people at iTunes, to the level of success that podcast is having. So if you are enjoying this and thinking it's fun and great, tell everybody you know. And if you don't like it, just tell them it's Mark Maron's. So you got to subscribe to the podcast. And that way I don't have to bug you as much on Twitter. Camaro Guy 11. That was an hour and 10 minutes ago I brought that guy up. The next day I have a college show, Catawba College. At Catawba
with
Anthony Clark, the star of Yes Dear.
Still a client, by the way.
Really? All right, so 2 of us are left. It's like we're the fucking Mariano Rivera and Derek Jeter of your fucking empire. We're the 2. Even fucking Andy Pettit cut out.
Oh, I hope there's editing here.
And I'm doing a college, Catawba College in Catawba, North Carolina, with Anthony Clark. We fly in, we land. The first thing we do is we smoke grass. And we're at a Motel 6 alongside the highway. Like a lot of people
I think it was a Motel 5.
Yeah, it was like a Motel 4.5. It wasn't good. And it was literally alongside the highway, everywhere else in the world. And Anthony is stoned. He's obsessed with taking a swim, but he's got to get all the bugs out of the pool. But it's not like a dirty pool. He's like a crazy OCD person. He's got that long fucking net, and he's skimming the fucking pool for if there is a fucking eyelash from somebody from 2 days ago, fuck chlorine, I'm going to get out with the net. I'll clean this shit. If he would have drained the fucking pool and gotten a toothbrush and Comet and done that shit himself. I go, I'm going to go take a nap. That's what I say to Anthony Clark before the show. And I'll see you later. He goes, all right, man, I'm going to clean this pool out, and I'm going to go for a swim.
By the way, you were opening for him.
I was opening for Anthony Clark at Catawba College in Catawba, North Carolina. Wonderful, beautiful country. I go to my Motel 5 room. I lay down to take a nap. I put on a Cubs game. I hear, Harry, hey! And that fan's wearing a sombrero. Oh, my God. Hideki Arabu from China or someplace. And the sun's in his eyes all the time. I don't get it. All these Japanese players got the sun in their eyes, looks like. The way their eyes are slanted. Ball one to Mark Grace. So I'll never forget, and I'll never be more indebted to WGN for putting Cubs games on in the middle of fucking nowhere, Catawba, North Carolina. The phone rings in my motel room. Now, when the phone rings in your motel room in Catawba, North Carolina, it means one thing. Someone in your family is currently on a fucking slab in the morgue with that big giant V-shaped scar across their body, and they've had their organs weighed, and they're fucking dead, and it's taken this long to get a hold of you. I jump out of fucking bed. I think Ryan Sandberg was at bat. I answer the phone, and it's Barry Katz and my agent at the time, Ruth Ann Secunda. But I'm in a panic. But Barry is such a close friend, he would be the guy to call me if one of my beautiful parents has died. He'd be, I know where he is. Let's patch everyone through. We'll make sure we're all talking to him at the same time. So he goes, hey man, it's Barry. Are you sitting down? My fucking mother just got decapitated by a stop sign. Kenahara, pop, pop, pop.
Pop, pop, pop.
My father just rolled his fucking dune buggy and died in a horrible baboon ass-raping accident. He bled out. My father is Mr. Hands. My father just got raped by a horse and had internal bleeding and died. All right, you get the point. Are you sitting down? Everything he's saying and everything is leading to death. And in a way it did. And then, meekly, I hear in the background a woman's voice, and I think it's either my sister Virginia or my sister Julie. And she goes, is he on? Is he on? And there's this weird thing in her voice. It could either be hope or, oh my God, how are we going to break this horrible news to him? And I've come to believe in hindsight it was both. And she goes, are you sitting down? And I still don't know it's Ruth Ann. And I go, who is this? And you go, you're on with Barry and Ruth Ann. Ruth Ann, go ahead. Like fucking Larry King over here for the dead. You're on the air. Imogene Moore decapitated by a stop sign. Hello. Virginia Moore passed around by the Boston Celtics, bled internally. How are you? Yes, go ahead, call her. Ruth Ann goes, and this is all she said. 3 words. You got it. That's all. And I knew what she meant, but when you get news of that magnitude, you can't just fucking run out into the streets with it. You got it. I'm like, got what? Who called you? Who said it? When do I start? How do I know I got it? Do I have to go back again? Is there another audition? Do I have to sign paperwork? I don't want to fucking lose this on a technicality. Barry goes, I talked to Marcy Klein. Lorne Michaels thought you were incredible. You, my friend, are the new cast member of the 1992-93 season of Saturday Night Live. Congratulations. You earned it, my man. I felt oddly, and I would be interested to sit here with other Saturday Night Live, former Saturday Night Live cast members. It wasn't like you won the Stanley Cup and you go batshit and throw your fucking gloves in the air and skate around and look for your buddies. It was kind of like a school bus had rolled on top of me, and I was now responsible for everyone on board, including my own safety. It was the most serious news I had ever gotten. Yes, it's the biggest break I had ever received, and probably to this day. It's the stick by which I am measured. When I go on The Tonight Show for the 15th time, the next time will be my 15th, every fucking time Leno goes, my next guest was a cast member on Saturday Night Live. I was never a cast member. I was only a featured performer, which is also my book. Marissa Tomei, I'll get to that at another time. She sucked. But now she's awesome. I wrote a sketch for her really quick called Good Morning Brooklyn, and eventually got on the air with Sarah Jessica Parker, who turned out to be amazingly cool. It was basically Regis and Kelly with a bunch of fucking Guidos. Good morning, Brooklyn. How are you, huh? Good. It's time now for the beating of the week. Good. Who gets the beating? And all the correspondents were like, hey, Michael McKean came out and did the weather. I go, hey, Anthony, how's the weather? He goes, muggy as a bastard. I go, what about upstate New York? Hot as a bastard. What about the Midwest? Raining like a bastard. So you're saying people should stay in? Do what you got to do. I ain't saying nothing. So, that was the sketch I wrote for Marissa Tomei. And when we were rehearsing it on like Friday, I said, I want to make a change here. And she goes, so how long have you been a cast member? This is right after my cousin Vinny. So I thought it was perfect for her. And I go, well, I'm not. It was in Marcy Klein's office, on the couch in Marcy Klein's office. We were both seated. I know it sounded a little odd. Well, me and Marissa Tomei on a couch in Marcy Klein's office. Come on, honey. So she goes, how long have you been a cast member? Because you don't look familiar to me. And I go, well, I'm not really a cast member. I'm mostly like a featured performer. I'm a writer and a featured performer. And I see her face at that moment drops. I know my sketch isn't getting on the air. To let you know how perilous these things operate. And she gets a look of fucking disgust on her face, like I fucking tricked her. Like when you find out your doctor's been giving you a placebo for 5 years, and that's why your blood pressure at like, what, you gave me a fucking placebo? I'm fucking eating salt, you asshole. She looks at me and she goes, you're not even a cast member? I go, no. And she goes, oh, then what are we doing? Like it couldn't get through her head that we were going to be on. So the sketch got cut. We were there with the amazing Sarah Jessica Parker, who is hot, by the way, and I'm tired of people saying she's a butterface. I got news for you. If you had a friend who was married to Sarah Jessica Parker, and you had a fantasy football draft, and you go, I'm coming, the first question you'd say is Sarah coming? Will she come with you? God damn, she's fucking hot. You wouldn't go, yeah, her face isn't really to my liking. So for all you guys up there in fucking Santa Clarita with your fat sixes, why don't you take it easy on SJP? I think she's doing all right. She's designing for fucking Halston at this point. She's a trillionaire. Anywho, I realized I got Saturday Night Live, and I was overcome with a feeling of severity and a feeling of seriousness. And it wasn't like a Yahoo at all. And I'm really interested to see Brewer and Daryl and these guys, how they reacted also. Because it was the first, like, absolute, no one can help you grown-up news I had ever received. And I just hung up the phone in a daze, and I went to pick up the phone to call my parents, and I thought, let me talk to another human being first to make sure this isn't a bizarre dream. I leave Motel 5, I'm on the second floor, and I look down. Anthony Clark, with his shirt off and his dolphin shorts, is still cleaning out this fucking pool. Like an hour's gone by. This fucking prick, you could eat off this fucking pool at this point. Which I don't know how you'd have all foods that float. Nothing that can sink. You'd have to have all foods that float.
I think it was amazing how he handled things.
That's the best thing. I go down, because Anthony Clark's a guy, sure he'd want to be on Saturday Night Live. And he was way ahead of me comedically on the charts. And as far as who was selling tickets, I'm his opening act, you know? And I go up to him and I go, hey, man. And I'll never forget, he looks at me, and he's just a great, I love Anthony. And he looks at me, and the sun was in his eyes, and he's got a real funny voice, man. And the sun's in his eyes, and he's got this long, tall, skinny, effeminate body. And he's skimming this fucking pool. Now the fucking net is 30 feet. Like he found an extension for it, and his muscles are like, his arms are shaking. I go, you're not going to believe this. He goes, what happened, man? I go, I just got Saturday Night Live. And when I say no time, I mean fucking like the greatest timing ever. Immediately he just goes, well, there goes that nap. And then he just goes back to skimming the fucking pool. But that night in Catawba, North Carolina,
that's right,
the guy that ran it, the student activities director, says, what would you like me to say about you when I introduce you? And I said, for the first time in my life, I said, you can say, he found out today he's the newest cast member of Saturday Night Live. Now, I performed at that college a year prior, and it's a small town, small school, small student body. They know you. They came back because they like you. When that guy said that, there's about 1,100 people in a theater. They didn't give a fuck if Anthony Clark even showed up. They were so happy for me. And that was also one of the first times in my life I'd experienced the transference that I would love to talk about in subsequent podcasts, Zen and the art of stand-up comedy. That's selflessness. When you lose yourself, when you realize you're living through other people and you're feeding each other. I heard an audible, oh my God, that's terrific. Like I didn't hear those words, but that was the energy. You're actually, as a comic, you're not far off from like kung fu masters or jiu-jitsu black belts or, yogis, because all you're doing for a living as a stand-up comic is you're feeling energy, you're taking energy in, and you're putting it back out, but you're moving it around where you want it to be and how you want it to go at the speed you want it to go. And that was the first night of my life where I realized the power that we all harness as comics. and the power we harness as people when we're able to touch other people and reciprocate it. And when they know, you know. And when you know, they